Hey guys, it's Wayne Santos, one of the editors here at CGM, and this week for Sound Off, it's a bit weird. I guess I've been in a pretty good mood lately because I'm not cutting something down to ribbons again. I'm actually excited, and this week it's because we finally got a trailer for Dreamfall Chapters, The Longest Journey, and I'm basically just here to promote the hell out of the game because I think that adventure game fans, especially the old school long-standing ones, they really need to hear about this. Now, let's just cast our eyes with the Wayback Machine back to the year 2000 when Funcom, a Norwegian developer, and the developer Ragnar Tornquist put out an adventure game called The Longest Journey, which was originally out on PC. It is still, in my opinion, one of the great adventure games ever. It's right up there with Grim Fandango, all the rest. It's very well written. There's an element of humor to it. It's very, very ambitious. It was all about a future world where a confused art student, still trying to figure out who she is, by the name of April Ryan, basically gets thrust into this gigantic world-spanning adventure where she finds out that the scientific world that we live in is linked with a fantasy world, and both worlds are put in jeopardy, and it's basically up to her to muddle through and try and save the day. So that came out in 2000, and it was, even though it didn't sell like, Call of Duty in terms of numbers, it was a real critical darling. It's like, especially with the adventure fans. Anybody that played this game immediately fell in love with it because the world was so developed and the writing was so good, and April Ryan was just, it's like one of the most likable, fully fleshed out characters, especially for a female, to come out in years. Then it took a while, but in 2006 we had the sequel. It was called Dreamfall. It had a new cast of characters and a new storyline, but all kinds of crazy stuff happened. Stakes were rising, but the game ended on a tremendous cliffhanger. Now, at that time, the reasoning was they were going to start developing the sequel very, very soon, but that was in 2006, and here we are in 2014, and so obviously things went south. Part of the reason for that is because Funcom themselves decided that they want to focus more on the online space with games like Age of Conan and The Secret World, etc., etc., etc. But Ragnar Tornquist, the creator of the series, eventually went off and started his own small indie developer company, which is called Red Thread Games, and because Funcom is apparently a bunch of easygoing and reasonable guys, they actually allowed Ragnar to use the Longest Journey license with his company, even though technically he's no longer working for Funcom. So now we have a trailer for Dreamfall Chapters, which originally was going to be an episodic game, and then they announced that it was all going to be one big game, but now they've recently said, no, actually they're going to go back to having it be an episodic game again. And this is kind of an important moment for fans of the series because, like I said before, this is an extremely well-written game. The characters are great, the plot is interesting, and we've basically been hanging since 2006, on, what is going to happen with April and Zoe and all the rest of the characters. So it's coming now, and I strongly recommend anybody that is a fan of adventure games, if you've never played The Longest Journey, and its sequel, Dreamfall Chapters, they're available on PC, it's like good old games, Steam, all the rest, it's like go out, play those things, get yourself ready for Dreamfall Chapters, because as long as Ragnar has not lost his touch, and I don't think he has, this is definitely going to be a series that everybody is going to be talking about for quite some time. So there you go, The Longest Journey. Keep this one on your radar because it's probably going to be something special.